Did you guys both listen to the Joe Budden or to the Rory and Mal new show?
I really enjoyed it.
I only made it through like the first like half hour, to be honest.
It was actually very.
They talked
enjoyable.
about going to the club for like 20 minutes.
I think they were still talking about the club when I turned it on. Like, I was just driving. I'm going to listen to the rest of it. But, I mean, it was interesting. One thing that stood out to me is that, like, Mal is now a slightly more active Mal, and Rory is Joe Budden. Like, Rory has kind of taken the lead, even though he said he was, like, ridiculously sick and shit. It sounded kind of like...
I think Mal took the lead.
You felt like he took more of a lead?
Kinda, yeah.
I felt like Rory was the one leading with the whole club story. And then you have Mal sort of like interjecting and giving his take on it. But like it felt like, but it's interesting because they said they recorded so much while they were in LA or whatever. And it makes me wonder, like, was that just their first go, or do you think that they recorded mad shit
Like
and
a
that was the
trial
stuff
run
they
or
liked the
something?
best for this first episode? I don't know.
They probably did though. But that club that they was talking about is where I ran into Mal at.
Right.
Sadiq.
I was waiting for them to drop the AD story. Like, yeah, we saw the guy from No Jumper in the club.
I know that's
waiting for that to
there's
happen.
levels to this shit because they didn't talk about meeting AD, but we talked about you meeting Mal. Because we are fucking losers.
Damn, it's levels to this shit. You're right.
I mean, then again, everybody was intoxicated, so hey.
I love their whole theory of like how just LA is so fake and like lying to everyone is like a game and like.
But they weren't lying though. And he
Right.
said, and Rory said, yeah, it is fun to be like, yeah, let's get up with each other.
But the way he was
I do that shit
describing
every
being
day.
with a girl and like just lying to each other the whole time,
Yeah, that
I'm
was
just like
kinda
kind of at a certain point, I'm just like, yeah, but nah. Like that
Yeah.
shit, like the shit about like having something to do in the morning. Haven't you all like said that a million
Oh, yeah, of
fucking
course,
times?
of course.
But then like, I don't know, like
Just lying about your whole career and who you are as a person and
That's
just like
tight. If you're not a public figure, I think that's so badass. The Rory and Mal podcast, and I'm not trying to act like this is a definitive judgment of how those podcasts are going to do or whatever, because obviously
it's the first one.
in the long, like the first Rory and Mal podcast is going to get an outsized amount of attention and support. It doesn't mean that it's going to continue to kill it in such a fashion, but I think earlier today I saw that it had like 295,000 views and I counted 30,000 likes. Now, comparatively, the Joe Budden podcast, which this whole time we've been saying Rory and Mal left and the views are still good, yada, yada. I noticed that the Joe Budden podcast and the Rory and Mal thing had only been out for 24 hours when I was looking at it. The Joe Budden podcast, it's set on YouTube 3 days ago, 195,000. 3,600 likes.
Whoa.
That's like, you know, almost 10 times as many likes on the Rory and Mal thing.
Yeah.
I even saw a clip of academics saying them dudes took Joe's family. Like
His fans like
Ack was
jumped-
talking about it a little more definitively than I would prefer to act, because I think that the Rory and Mal thing is very much, it remains to be seen how it's going to turn out, you know?
I think Ack was kind of giving it like a closed casket, like, oh, it's done for.
It
type
sounded like he
review.
was a little too pessimistic about how the situation was unfolding. Although, to be honest with you, like, I mean,
looks crazy.
Rory and Mal getting kicked off of Joe Budden or leaving Joe Budden, that was like, it seemed like the best thing for Ack, because Ack, you know, it proves Ack's point kind of like these guys are whack or whatever.
But then not really.
Them starting their own show and doing extremely well would very much change that narrative for Ack. Because Ack this whole time has been saying, them dudes are not popular, they're just sidekicks, they're just stooges, etc.
But I feel like he kind of pulled out, paused at the last moment, and was just like, I've seen multiple streams of him being like, this is the last time I'm going to speak on this. I'm going to leave it alone.
Because as soon as, if Ack starts to like, if they start to be perceived as very popular and successful, then it's like sort of different, you know, because like, why would Ack want to be going after these people who are like
he
super,
can still do it.
you know,
It's
like,
personal.
right, but it might not seem beneficial to him. And granted, he's been going at them for a long ass time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
for him to like keep going at him at some point, it's probably going to seem inessential.
How much inner self-control does it take on the Rory and Mal side to just not ever bring him up after a certain point? Yeah.
I mean, it's two different dynamics though. Like the way that their podcasting style and the way they're perceived, I don't think that they are like they want to sit there and go back and forth. You feel me? Because Ack got all the time. He don't give a fuck. He gonna sit there and drill the fuck out of you. So it's like, I understand the shit.
He picked up like a style of beefing there on Twitch that I didn't even really know existed, where you just sort of like just consistently just like rant about them all the time. It's almost like like a right wing radio type thing, like a fucking like what was his name? Rush Limbaugh type thing, where you just sort of rant against the enemy forever, and it just never ends.
Funk Flex be doing this shit too, though.
Yeah.
When he does it, he'll do like 30 minutes. And he got the bombs and
him and Charlemagne going fucking.
The bombs are such a cheat code for filling out the time.
I know.
If everything I said on here, I was just, and I guess Joe does it with the gunshots too. But you say something that's like not even that crazy. Little house phone.
It's like, oh my God.
Use a bitch. Like overemphasizing your own. Like it's actually kind of crazy to think about the fact that we just took that, just accepted that this was normal. Like this guy could just do this, and we would all just listen to it.
It's even crazier that we don't got no fucking like basketball swoosh noises.
See, I seen. Shout out to the Fresh and Fit podcast.
I don't know if I will.
They have the little board right there. And
They're coming on soon.
Come on, I gotta be here.
Is there how many of them in there? Like how many of them are coming?
It's 2.
Only 2. So
Every time I've seen them on YouTube, they've had like 12 bitches sitting around the table.
How many bitches will they pull up with?
12 women. You said you respect women.
I respect
Household.
women. I'm sorry.
Liar.
I do respect women. Don't say that.
Oh damn! I'm going to Miami. We should go on their podcast. They
Nigga,
just asked me.
go.
We should
You
do that.
guys are going to Miami without me.
I'm not. No.
Yeah, I go everywhere without you. You want to come out?
I was
Yeah, but
already
you
going.
two doing something together, that sounds like a union right there.
The Black Union, Black No Jumper. We back in this bitch. We should bring Laura too.
Y'all don't party the same way.
No, we don't.
And that's why it'll be really interesting
First
to see
of
how
all,
it plays
I
out.
can go and drink and not do cocaine.
Yeah, if nobody is doing cocaine, I believe that you won't do cocaine for a period of time. However, I do think that at some point in the night you're going to start texting everybody you know who might even know of anyone else.
I don't want to get like random fentanyl like Miami.
That's the number one thing to be
They do
scared
coke
of.
around the club, but it's just like it's whatever.
I don't want
Coke
AD. I
around
don't
the
want AD to
club.
look at me like that, so I wouldn't do
I
that.
already
in front
look
of
at you
AD.
like that. You're my friend still, though. I don't judge you. Sorry.
That's what
Knock
is-
it away.
That's the thing that I'm so interested in, and I want to know what it's going to be like when we do go out on the next Saturday. Is how all of our hanging out, like what are we all going to be doing in there? I kind of feel like I need to have Vel with me to just hang out with me and smoke weed, since you are
cool.
going to be taking 700 shots,
I'm gonna take at least 600 with him.
talking to somebody from Love and Hip Hop, etc.
Sounds accurate.
You're going to be on a ketamine bender. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be interesting to see how we all align, because we work great in this scenario.
Yeah,
But it's a whole different thing. And what if we have Duno and Vel and Trell and
they're supposed to bring the love of my life on at the end of the day tomorrow, and I'm so sad I won't be there anymore.
who?
Doggy style?
No, this girl. Remember we were sending it back and forth in the group chat.
Okay.
And I was like,
I
make
don't
sure you
remember.
bring this one.
Nah, we're gonna save her.
Oh yes, save her for next week.
So how about you come on next week?
yes,
All
yeah.
right.
Whoever you had next week, take them off.
Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. Don't
John
save
said no
her.
house phone. You said
She
who?
can sit on my lap.
Who's for? Doggy Style ain't coming
No,
tomorrow.
I'm talking about next week. He can just come on by himself. Yeah.
But I could bring her still. My lap is available.